stop apologising for no reason. You know, if you've done something wrong, then sure, yes, you know, apologise. But if you haven't, don't, you know. And I think it really boils down to, certainly in my own experience, that I kind of almost was apologising for being who I was. So I would say, you know, sorry every time somebody seemed to be a little bit perturbed with what I'd said, or confused by what I'd said, or, you know, I often felt like I was too much or not enough. You know, I never seemed to hit the mark. And so I was always saying sorry all the time to everyone. And if, you know, I was pulled up on it and asked to stop saying sorry, I'd say sorry for that as well. Like, it just came out, and it was just such a strong pattern and habit to do that. And, you know, there just came a point when I recognized that I needed to change this dialogue. I needed to change the automatic need to say sorry, you know, like the connections in the brain, almost like I needed to rewire it so my language changed. Because once we get into the habit of saying sorry a lot, it kind of gets stuck in there. So really the only way to change it is just by becoming aware of it, and little bit by little bit, just stopping saying sorry, you know, and noticing, you know, that the desire is there to say it. And, or if you say it, just go, actually, scratch that, I'm not sorry. You know, obviously, unless you have done something like, you know, step on somebody's toe and they're hurt, and then even if it was an accident, you'd obviously say sorry. But, you know, that's quite, you know, common sense, isn't it? To understand really the difference of when there are times where it is nice to apologise to somebody else to show that you're considering them. But also, you know, not needing to explain yourself, and not needing to identify with this kind of idea almost that there's something wrong with you. And, you know, certainly in my situation, I was just always apologising almost for taking up space. If I did anything contrary to anybody else, I had any different opinions or ideas, and, you know, somebody certainly was a bit more stronger in their opinions, I'd always just be saying sorry if I thought I'd upset somebody in any way, shape or form. If they look bothered in any way, I was just always apologising. And, you know, now it's really more, you know, the kindness of like, are you okay, rather than apologising for myself, because I've let go of that idea that there's something wrong with me at the very core of my being. And that, yeah, for sure, I'll say sorry if it's useful in the moment, if it's you know, a nice thing to do and makes sense, because I have maybe made a mistake in that moment. I can just say sorry and move on. But there's not a heavy weight to it anymore. They always used to be, you know, and I would kind of tie myself up in knots too, trying to get everything right, you know, trying to do the right thing. And trying not to upset people. And actually, you know, I'm not responsible for other people's emotional state. And it's been very freeing to just let go of that. I can be kind and compassionate and loving and help people where I can. And if they want help, you know, not giving unsolicited help, because that can actually feel controlling. But to just offer that kindness without making anything that I'm doing wrong. And certainly not making the very essence of who I am wrong. And just naturally, the language has changed over time, and I'm, you know, saying I'm sorry so repeatedly and so often in so many different situations has just naturally fallen away. And with it, there's come a lightness of being, a much greater level of just authentic being, authentically being myself. Being kind and compassionate, wanting to help others, but not making myself wrong, not putting myself out within that situation. You know, it's more of a level playing ground, and it's so much more pleasant way of being.